Ratio between the amount of work done by a man and woman is 3:5 respectively. If a work can be completed by 5 men in 30 days, in how many days will 5 women can complete half of that work? Right. Efficiency is related to one particular person. Male to female ratio is given as 3:5. 5 men started the work and each man efficiency is 3 parts, let's say. From the ratio you can treat it as 3 parts and then 5 parts. For 1 man we have 3 parts and we have 5 men, 5 3 is 15 parts. And they can complete the work in 30 days. And they are doing one work now. And we have 5 women. 1 woman is efficiency is equal to 5 parts. 5 women, 25 parts. Can complete half of the work in how many days? M1 D1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 by W2. That's it. 2 comes to numerator and it becomes 50. 0, 0 cancel. 5 how many times? 3 times. 3 3s 9. 9 days. Next, the difference between two odd numbers is 38 less than sum of these two numbers. What is definitely the bigger number? Right. If you are asked about exact value for bigger number, you cannot calculate that. In place of what is definitely the biggest number, in place of this, if you are asked to calculate what is the minimum number for getting bigger number in the sense, then you can calculate. I'll tell you. Let's say two numbers are A and B. Sum of numbers A plus B. Difference of numbers A minus B. Big number is A, small number is B. Their difference is given as 38. Plus A minus A gets cancelled. Bigger number cancelled here. And smaller number is 2B, which is 38. B is equal to 19. With this information, can you calculate A value? No. But you can calculate the least number for A. Those two numbers are? Given numbers are? Odd numbers. Least number is B, right? Because we have taken A minus B, where A is greater than B. If least number is 19, bigger number must be next to 19 and that should be odd number. After 19, what is next odd number? 21. So, these values, for all the values of A 21, 23 and so on, condition satisfies. The least number for A is 21. But if you are asked to calculate exact definite number, you cannot calculate. Answer cannot be determined. You need to have some other information. Least number is 21. From 21 you can take whatever you want. Okay? Right. Next 33. The ratio between the area of a rectangle and a square is 5:4 respectively. If the side of the square is 8 centimeters, the length of the rectangle is 10 centimeters. What is the breadth of the rectangle? Right. So, ratio between rectangular area and square area is given as 5:4. 5/4. This will be equal to length into breadth and then a square. Side of the square is given as 8. So that is going to be 8 square. Length is given as 10 centimeters. 10 into B. Let us write 8 square as 8 into 8. 5 how many times? 2 how many times? 4 4 cancel. B is equal to 8 centimeters. Next, monthly incomes of A and monthly income of A is 40,000 less than the total monthly income of B and C together. If C's monthly income is 20,000, how much more B earns every month than A? Let's say we have 3 persons A, B, C. C is getting 20,000 rupees. Let's say A is getting A number of rupees. And this must be 40,000 less than sum of B and C. In that case, B value must be equal to A plus 20,000. In that case only this condition satisfies. A is getting 40,000 less than sum of values of B and C. C is already given 20,000. A must be A plus 20,000, then only that will be 40,000 less than this. So A is getting how many rupees more than B is getting how many rupees more than A? 20,000 every year. Next, 35. 25% of 40% of half of a number is 8. Half in the sense 50%. 40% of 25%. I'll treat 25% as 1 by 4. This is given as 8. You're asked about the number. 4 how many times? 10% of 50 in the sense? 5%. So 5% is equal to 8, 10% is 16, 100% is 160. Right? Answer? 1. అంటే ఇప్పుడేం నా మీద డౌటా? నా మీద డౌటా? ఏ పెద్దక్క? మరి ఆన్సరు నేను చెప్పాను 160 అని, ఆప్షన్స్లో వేరేది ఇచ్చారు అంటే మీ అర్థం ఏంటి? వన్ ఫోర్త్ ఆఫ్ ఎ నెంబర్ అన్నారా? ఓకే, మరి చెప్పచ్చు అక్క అది కాదు ఆన్సర్ అన్న, ఆ పరువు తీయటానికి తప్ప నువ్వు నేను ఏం చెప్పినా కానీ. The ratio between average age of a boy, average ages of a boy and girls in a class is 4:3 respectively. The total age of boys and the total age of girls together is 400. If there are 16 boys, how many girls are there? Right, you're asked about how many girls. Boys average and girls average ratio is given as 4:3. Let it be 4 parts and then 3 parts. How many boys are there? 16 boys. How many girls are there? You need to calculate. Let it be x. Sum of boys age is going to be 16 into 4 parts. How much is that? 64 parts. And girls age 3x parts. And this must be equal to 400. How many variables are here? 2 variables. 2 variables x and p. Using one equation, can you calculate 2 variables? So answer. But for these type of questions, hold it, mark for review, give your answer but mark for review. And at the end, if you have some time, you need to verify one condition. I'll tell you how to verify it. Always that may not be possible, but sometimes you'll get the answer for this question. 99% cases you'll not get the answer, but 1% you'll get the answer. I'll tell you. What is sum of boys age and girls age together? 400. Boys age is how many parts? Total 64 parts. Will be a multiple of 64, right? Right. 64. And girls age will be multiple of 3. Girls are 3 parts, and let's say we have x members. If sum of total ages of boys and girls is 400, out of that boys age is 64, what about remaining? 336. Is it 3 multiple? Chances are there. This can be your answer. Next option. Boys age is 64 parts, I said. 64 parts. Next number 128. Sum is 400. If boys age is 128, the other number will be 272. Is this 3 multiple? This cannot be your answer. This cannot be your answer. Next multiple 192. Girl sum will be 208. Is this 3 multiple? No. Next boy sum will be 256. Girls will be 144. Is this 3 multiple? You have 2 options. There are 2 chances. So answer cannot be determined. So if you verify like this, sometimes there will be only 1 3 multiple. In that case, that will be your answer. So that's why you need to make sure this. 99% cases you will not get the answer. Usually these type of questions will be there in CSAT or CAT exams. You need to make sure that. Okay? Give your answer but mark for review. At the end, if you have any time, just make sure this. Okay na? ఇక్కడ 3 multiple ఇంకొకటి వచ్చిందమ్మా. అలా కాకుండా ఈ ఆప్షన్స్ అన్నిటిలో you need to take 64 multiples every time. To this number again you need to add 64, that will be 320. You'll get girls count. Next number will be 384. Apart from that you will not get any chance for boys because that will be 64 multiple and sum is equal to 400. So out of these 6 combinations, if you have only one 3 multiple for girls count, that is your answer. But you have 2 numbers here, so answer cannot be determined. And there are some cases where you will get only one condition satisfies there. Okay? Right. కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండాలి ఈ మోడల్లో. Next. Where are we? 37, right? R bought 30 kgs of rice and sold the entire quantity at the rate of 54 rupees per kg and earned 20% profit. At what price per kg did he buy the rice? Right, you need not to use the number 30 kgs. Whether it is 30 kgs or x number of kgs or 1 kg, don't bother about it. Sold it for 54 rupees, thereby gain 20%. 20% gain in the sense 120% is equal to 54. You need to calculate cost price, which is 100%. How much? 45. Else you can try verifying from options. First option is 55. See, cost price is more than selling price. You'll get lost. This cannot be your answer. Second option, keep it aside. You can definitely get the answer. Third option, 45. 10% is 4.5. 20% is 9. 45 plus 9? 45 plus 9. Is it given in the question? So 45 is right answer. Right? Next. 38. The ratio between the percentages of P and Q is 3:7. The ratio between the ages of P and Q 4 years ago was 1:3. Present ages 4 years back. What is Q's percentage? Can you get the answer? You're asked about Q's percentage. Percentages of P and Q are in the ratio 3:7. Q age must be 7 multiple, right? How many 7 multiples you have? 28 answer. 28 answer. You have only one 7 multiple. If you want to do it, percentages ratio 3:7. 3 parts, 7 parts. A year back, 4 years back, it was 1:3. Let me change my ratio 1:3 as 2:6. So 2 parts and then 6 parts. If you decrease 4 years for first person, age decreases by 1 part. For second person also, if you decrease 4 years, age decreases by 1 part. 1 part is 4 years. Percentage of Q is 7 parts. 1 part is 4, 7 parts 28. Okay? But you need not to do this because you have only one 7 multiple. The cost of laying paver blocks on a rectangular plot at the rate of 40 per square feet is 3,840 rupees. 40 rupees per square feet. And total cost calculated as 3,840. And if you want to calculate area, this is price, right? But I want to calculate area. Area will be equal to 3,840 by 40. 0, 0 cancel. 384. I will treat this number 16 less than 400. 386. 16 less than 400. 1/4 of that number will be 4 less than 100. That is 96. This is area for which we have used pavement. And the ratio between the length and breadth of a plot is 3:2. This is area, right? Length is 3x, breadth is 2x, area is 6x square. 6x square is equal to 96, x square is 16, x is equal to 4. And then you are asked to calculate the perimeter of the plot. Perimeter 2 into L plus B. Length and breadth are together 5 parts. X is equal to 4, 5x will be 20, 22 times 40. The total simple interest earned on a sum of money for at the rate of 5% per annum for 2 years is 800. Simple interest for 2 years is 800, per year it will be 400. 2 years if you get 800, per year you will get 400. So first year 400 and then second year also 400. And you're asked to calculate what would be the total compound interest on the same sum of money at the same rate of interest at the end of 2 years. Will there be any difference between simple interest and compound interest for the first year? So that will be 400 only. Second year you will get 400 plus interest of first year interest. First year you got 400 rupees interest, rate of interest is 5%, 10% is 40, 5% is half of that, 20, answer 820. (41 to 45). Yesterday I think we have covered this type of question, right? You need not to rewrite this. Don't rewrite this. You have data here. Let's see question number 41. For example, I am taking how many people watch both Marathi as well as Gujarati TV shows? You are not asked to calculate Marathi and Gujarati only. They were asked about Marathi and Gujarati. So you just need to look for words Marathi and then Gujarati. This is only Marathi. This is only Gujarati. Do you have Marathi and Gujarati here? It has Marathi but not Gujarati. This one? Yes. You need to count it. And the last one? Yes. Total what percent? And the last one, rest of the population watches TV shows of all languages. You need to calculate percentage here. What percent? 5%. Right. So you need to calculate 22%. Answer will be 22% of 7,500 will be a multiple of 22, should be a multiple of 11. Is this 11 multiple? No. Yes, sir. This is 11 multiple. Is this 11 multiple? No. Is this 11 multiple? No. Is this 11 multiple? Yes. Either first option or fourth option. If you have only one such number, you can go for it. Else you have to do it. 10% of this number, 750. 20%, 1500. If this is 20%, 2% will be 150. Answer 1650. Okay? Right. So don't rewrite the data. There itself you look for the numbers. Now 46 to 50. Any particular question? Anyone? Sure? (51 to 55). Before 55? 51, 52. Ala? Right, 51. See, these are registered voters. When it comes to voting, first of all you will have registered voters, and then all the registered voters are not going to participate in the election. మన గురించి ఆలోచిద్దాం. ఓటర్ ఐడి కార్డు ఉందా? రిజిస్టర్డ్ ఓటర్. యు ఆర్ ఏ రిజిస్టర్డ్ ఓటర్. జనాభా లెక్కల్లో ఉన్నాం. రైట్. రిజిస్టర్డ్ ఓటర్స్ అందరూ ఓటేస్తారా? ఓటింగ్ కార్డు ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ ఓటేస్తారా? Right. All registered voters are not going to participate in the election. Voting. So that will be candidates who are going to cast their vote. In the sense, those who have participated in the voting. And all the voters who casted their vote, will that be a valid vote every time? ఇప్పుడంటే బటన్స్ వచ్చినాయి కానీ పాతకాలంలో వేరే ఉండేవి. మీరు వేసారో లేదో నాకు తెలియదు. పేపర్ మీద వేసారా? బ్యాలెట్ వేయలేదా? ఒక్కళ్ళు కూడా వేసినావా? చెయ్యెత్తకి. ఇప్పుడు ఎత్తితే ఎత్తావు కానీ ఇంకెప్పుడు చెయ్యెత్తద్దు. ఎందుకు అర్థమైందా? వెనక నవ్వుతున్నారంటే ఏంటి? వెనక నుంచి కామెంట్లు చేస్తారు, భూమి పుట్టినప్పుడు పుట్టావని. ఎప్పుడు చెయ్యెత్తకు అట్లా. బ్యాలెట్ మీద నువ్వు వేయలేదు కదా? రైట్. లెట్ ఇట్ బి లైక్ దట్. He was a responsible citizen. ఒకసారి నేను ఓటింగ్ అప్పుడు, లాస్ట్ టైం కాదు అంతకుముందు ఎలక్షన్స్ అప్పుడు, వైఎస్ రాజశేఖర రెడ్డి రిజైమ్ సెకండ్ టైం గెలిచినప్పుడు కరెక్ట్గా ఓటింగ్ రోజే నాకు కాన్వకేషన్ ఉంది. మా కాలేజీలో కాన్వకేషన్ ఉంది. అప్పుడు నేను కాన్వకేషన్ వదిలేస్తానని చెప్పి ఇంటికి వస్తానన్నా. మా ఫాదర్ ఇంటికి వస్తే కాళ్ళెరకు కొడతా అన్నాడు. ఇంకా అందుకని అక్కడికి వెళ్ళా. అక్కడికి ట్రై చేశాం మా మదర్ ద్వారా మేనేజ్ చేర్చడానికి. నథింగ్ డూయింగ్, టోపీ పెట్టుకోవాల్సిందే అని అన్నాడు. అప్పుడు ఎలా ఉండేదంటే ఇక్కడ నేమ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడేమో సింబల్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ సింబల్ మీద స్వస్తిక్ గుర్తుతోటి ఇంకు వేయాలి. చిన్న, దట్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎ స్టాంప్, బేసికలీ ఒక స్టిక్ లాంటిది ఉంటుంది, చెక్క, చివర స్వస్తిక్ సింబల్ ఉంటుంది. ఫస్ట్ టైం ఓటేసేవాళ్ళు, లేకపోతే ఓటింగ్లో డబ్బులు కాకుండా వేరే వేరే తీసుకుంటారు చూడండి, ఆ బ్యాచ్ వస్తుంది. ఫస్ట్ టైం ఓటేసే వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే నా గుర్తు ఎట్లయినా బాగా గట్టిగా పడాలని వేస్తారు. ఇది వేసిన తర్వాత ఇమీడియట్గా మడత పెట్టాలి. యాస్టీస్గా ఉండదు, దాన్ని మడత పెడతాం. ఇక్కడ వేసిన ఇంక కింద పడుతుంది. స్వస్తిక్ సింబల్లో మీరు ఎటు తిప్పినా కానీ ఒకటే సింబల్ వస్తుంది. పైది కింద పడ్డా కానీ రెండు ఇంప్రెషన్స్ సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. సో యూ నెవర్ నో విచ్ వన్ ఈజ్ కరెక్ట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఇన్వాలిడ్ ఓట్. ఆ రెండో బ్యాచ్ ఉంది చూడండి, ఊగుతా వస్తారు. వాడు దీని మీద వేద్దామని అనుకుంటాడు, కానీ దాని మీద వేస్తాడు. రెండింటికి మధ్యలో పడుతుంది, invalid vote. So all the votes which were casted are not going to be valid votes. So again you'll have valid votes here. And the contestants are going to share these valid votes. So every question may have all these details. If your question starts from this particular point, they feel all registered voters have casted their vote. Okay? Right. Now, so these are registered voters out of this population who have participated in the voting, and out of this these are invalid votes, right? Now total number of registered voters in village D is what percent more than the total number of registered voters in village B? Easy one. You're asked about direct question, direct percentage. D is what percent more than B? 43,200 is more than what percent of 32,500? 43,200 is how much more than this? Wait a minute, wait, నేను చెప్తా ఆగండి. In between these two numbers, let's take 40,000. Sorry, this one. 32,500 and then 43,200. In between these two numbers, take 40,000. This is 7,500 less, and this is 4,300, 200 more. Total will be 10,700. So 43,200 is 10,700 more that of 32,500. And you're asked about percentage. One third of this number, let me try to calculate one third of this number. 3,000, one third of 3,000? Sorry, 30,000. 30,000, one third of this number? 10,000. 2,500 I have. One third of 2,500 is 800 something. You have 700. So one third in the sense 33 1/3%, and your numerator is just less than that. In place of 10,700, if you have 10,833, your answer would be 33 1/3%. Were you asked to calculate approximate? No, exact answer. So if you have 10,833 numerator, answer would be 33 1/3%. But if it is slightly less than this, hence answer is definitely less than 33 1/3%. How many options are there? How many are there? You are not supposed to tell 28 10 by something. That cannot be your answer. Either it is fourth option or fifth option. Let's see that. Let's see that. Again you can do it. What is difference between these two numbers? 133. 10% is 3,250, 1% is 325, and our difference is near about 133, which is one third of 325, near about. One third of 1% in the sense 0.3%. So answer will be very close to 33%. Option is fifth option. 32 12 by 13%. Next, in village C, only two candidates M and N were contesting election. If M got 42% of total valid votes cast in that particular village, how many valid votes did N get? Right. So N obviously gets 58%, right? 42% of the total valid votes cast in that particular village is for M. Remaining will be 58%. So N gets 58% of valid votes. This is with respect to C. Out of 40,800, 65% have casted their vote. First, let's calculate 65% of this number. Okay? Right. How do you get 65%? Half and 15%. Half in the sense 20,400. I need to calculate 15%. 10% is 4080. Half 2040. Total 6,120. So total that's going to be 26,520. These are casted votes and invalid votes are 3,720. So you need to subtract 3,720. Let's subtract 4,000 and we can add 280 later. Subtract 4,000 and then add 280. 520 plus 280. 800. So 22,800. Out of this, 42% were for M and N gets 58%. 58%. What about 1% here? 228. If you want to calculate 58%, let me verify last digit. 8 into 8, 64, ends with 4. How many options are there which ends with 4? And then you are forced to do it. You have no other option. Right. 50%, 11,400. 10%, 2,280. If you add these two, you will get 60%. But we need 58%, so need to subtract 2%. 1% is 228. 2% will be 5, 4, 56. 400, 400, cancel. 80 minus 56, 24. 13, 2 to 4. What is the difference between number of valid votes cast in village A and number of valid votes cast in village E? You are asked about difference. Need to calculate that. Valid votes. You are just asked about valid votes. In the sense you need to subtract it. Right, A and E. Right, let's do it. 75% of this. 1/4, 9,000. 75% in the sense 3/4. 9 3s 27,000. 27,000 and from this you need to subtract 4,223. Don't do it. Keep it aside. Don't try to calculate it. Keep it aside. And then for again you need to calculate it for E. E. For E you need to calculate 60%. 60% of this number, 50% and then 10%. 50% in the sense half. What is half of this? 17,800. 10% is 3,560 and from this you need to subtract 6,124 and these are going to be valid votes from E. Total this will be 23,000 somewhere around and this will be 21,000 minus 6,000, 15,000 and this is 27,000 minus 4,000, 23,000. This is near about 23,000 and this is near about 15,000. Answer will be near about 6,000. How many are there? Hey, 7 vachinai. Chalo. Wait. You need to take difference, right? Confuse avutaru gani. Odile. Come on, let me first calculate this. Let me subtract 600 from this number. 300 gone. Sorry, 3000 gone. Again 3000. That will be 4000. You need to subtract 124. Subtract 124 from this number. 436. 436. This is also over. To make it round figure, you need to have 200. Let me take 200 from this. Here I will have 236 and this becomes 15,000. So that will be 15,236. Instead of this, subtract 5,000, add remaining balance. Subtract 5,000, that will be 22,000, and add remaining balance, that will be 777. Now you need to take difference. 777 minus 236. 700 minus 200, 500. 70 minus 30, 40. 7 minus 6, 1. How many options are ending with 541? Only one. Of course, 22 minus 5, 15, 7. What is the average number of invalid votes cast in all the given villages together? You asked about average, right? Wait a minute, average, right? I thought of verifying last digit, but there are two options which ends with 7. If all options are different, then you can verify last digit. There are two options which ends with 3, right? 15. 15, yes, answer ade. Let's take 3000 as benchmark. Okay? Let's take 3000 as benchmark. Here we have 1223, 556, 720. Forget about 942. Take 2000 from this number and add here. This becomes 3000. And let me write 942 as it is here. 2000 is already taken here. Remaining number 1124. Let me add everything. 1000, 2000, 3000, 4200, 4400. Let me write 4400. And then remaining numbers 6, 8, 10, 15, 150. 550. Let me write 500 and let me start with 50. 50, 60, 65. And now after making every number 3000, still I am left with 4565 and I need to adjust this extra number among 5 years, 5 villages divided by 5. 9, 1, 3. So 3930. Next, 55. In village E, respective ratio of registered male voters and registered female voters is 11:9. This one is 11:9. If the number of registered, where is this? If the number of registered male voters who could cast their votes is 11,320, what percent of registered female voters could cast their vote? Okay. Or rounded off to nearest integer. What percent? You asked about percentage. Right. So total how many parts we have? 20 parts. This is about registered voters, which are 35,600. 20 parts is equal to 35,600. One part is 35,600 by 20. 0, 0 cancel. Half of 3560. How much? 1780. If one part is 1780, total male are 11 parts and total female are 9 parts. I want to write this. 10 parts will be 17,800. I want to calculate 11 parts, so I need to add these two values. So total male are going to be 18 19,580. 19,580 are total male. And female are 9 parts. So you need to subtract it. 17,000 minus 1,000, 16,000. 800 minus 780, 20. So female are 16,020. And these are registered voters. Total voters who have casted their vote, 60%. And you need to calculate 60%. I think we have already calculated it. For question number 53. For question number 53, we have already calculated that. Need to reuse that. How much? 21,360. Out of 21,360, you are given 11,320 are male. Remaining will be female. 21,000 minus 11,000, 10,000. 360 minus 320, 40. Right. And you are asked about percentage of female valid voters with respect to registered voters. So 10,040 divided by 16,020. Nearest integer they said. And look at your options. Options are nearby 60, 65 and then 70. Let me calculate 60%. 50% is 8010. 10% is 1602. So 60% of the value is 9,602. And to this number, if you add 400 and how much? 438, then it becomes 10,040. To this number you need to add 438, then it becomes 10,040 rupees. Now you need to identify 438 forms what percent here. 60% is equal to this much. 10% of this number, 960. Half of that, 480. Very close to that number, right? 10% of this number, 6. Half of that, 3. So total answer, 63%. Right? Next, 56. Quantity 1. 96 is divided into two parts in such a way that 7th part of first and 9th part of second are equal. Find the smaller part. Right. 7th part of first number x by 7. 9th part of second number y by 9. Both are same. X by y is equal to 7 by 9. X is to y is 7 is to 9. Total number of parts 16 parts. 16 parts is equal to 96. You are asked about smaller number, which is 7 parts. 17 6 times 96. Sorry, 16 6 times 96. You need to calculate 7. 7 6 times 42. Smaller number is 42. And then quantity 2. So first quantity is 42. Second one. In a mixture of 40 liters, the ratio of milk and water is 3:2. In a mixture of 60 liters, the ratio of milk and water is 3:2. What amount of water must be added to make the ratio 6:12? So here what is that you are adding? Water. So other component should have, we should have same component, same quantity of milk in initial container and then in final container. In final container, how many parts of milk we have? 6. And in initial container? 3 parts. They are not same. So to make it same, let me write 3:2 as 6:4. And final container has 6:11. So now we have same quantity of milk and water. Same quantity of milk in initial and final container. So number of parts in initial container? 10 parts, which is equal to 60 liters. And water, initial container has 4 parts and final container has 11 parts, increased by 7 parts. If 10 parts is 60, 7 parts is 42 liters. Second quantity also 42, both are same. Okay? Both are same. Yeah, fifth option, you are forced to do it. Actually, allow undakodadu. Relation can be established but not given in the option. You can definitely establish the relation. Quantity 1 and 2 both are same. So out of those 5, you are forced to go for fifth option. Next, and both are positive numbers only. You cannot take negative number also. The present ages of Karthik and Rishik are in the ratio 4:5. The ratio of their ages after 5 years will be 5:6. So first person's age increases by 5 years, number of parts increased by 1 part. And for second person also, when you add 5 years, age increases by 1 part. Hence you can go for conclusion saying 1 part is equal to 5 years. What will be the age of Rishik after 10 years? After 10 years, present age of Rishik is 5 parts. 5 5 is 25. After 10 years, 35. Quantity 1 is 35 and quantity 2. The total of ages of A, B, C at present is 90. 10 years ago, the ratio of their ages was, 10 years ago what was their sum of ages? 60. For one person you need to subtract 10 years. For every person you need to subtract 10 years. For 3 persons together you need to subtract 30 years. Sum will be 60. And age ratio at that time was 1:2:3. Total how many parts we have? 6 parts is 60. 1 part is 10. So 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What is age of B after 10 years? Age of B, 20 years. When was this? 10 years back. Present, 30. After 10 years, 40. So B is age, which is quantity 2, 40. Quantity 2 is more than quantity 1. Okay? Next. $58. At what price must an article costing 47.5 be marked in order that after deducting 5% from the list price, it may be sold at a profit of 25% on the cost price? Right, cost price of the article is 47.5. After reducing its price by 5%, then they must get 25% profit. Fine. What is cost price? 47.5. This is cost price. They are expecting 25% profit. 25% of this number. Half and half. 40. 25% of 40 is 10. 7.5. Half of 7.5, 3.75. Again half of this, 1.875. So that will be 11.875. This is cost price and this is profit expected. And total selling price is going to be 59.375. Selling price should be 25% more than cost price, hence this is your number. And after what percent of discount you are selling it? 5%. So selling price becomes 95% of market price. Original market price is going to be 100%. 100% is equal to how much? Okay, and basically you need to take 1/19, you need to add 1/19 of this number. 1/19, 95 by 19, how much is that? 5. Add 5 here, you'll get 100. How many 19s will be here? Near about 3. Near about 3. Let me go for approximation here. This number is near about 62.375 something. Near about positive number only. Let me go for second quantity. 2 varieties of sugar are mixed in the ratio 3:2 and sold for 60 per kg by making a profit of 25%. 25% profit, 48 rupees. Cost price. If the cost of the sugar whose quantity is more is 40 per kg, what is the cost of the other variety of sugar whose quantity is 40 per kg, not more? Oh, the cost of sugar whose quantity is more is 40 rupees per kg. Right, got it. What is the cost of the other variety of sugar? Fine. Now let me take 3 kgs and then 2 kgs quantity. The quantity which is more here is costing 40 rupees and you are asked to calculate cost of this item. 3 kgs and each kg costs us 40 rupees. 3 40s 120 and price of the other item is not given, let it be x rupees. So total price 2x. This is what we are getting, and by selling it for 60 rupees per kg, he is getting a profit of 25%. You can do one thing, you can calculate cost price of that selling item. If you are getting 25% profit in the sense, selling price is 125%, cost price is 100%. This is 5 parts and this is 4 parts. 125% is equal to 60 rupees. Make it 5 parts. Each part occupies 12 here. 4 parts in the sense 48. So total cost price of selling item is 48. How many kgs we have? 5 kgs. And each was sold at 48 rupees. 5 kgs together costs us 240 rupees. 2x is 120. X is 60. The other item is definitely more than 60, right? Yes or no? Though it is approximate value, will be near about 62 plus or minus. But this is only 60. Quantity 1 is more than quantity 2. Next 59. Basically for this you even use alligation mixture. Mixture cost 48 rupees. Quantity ratio 3:2. This is first quantity price and this is second quantity price. Cost of the item is given as 40 rupees. This 3 parts, right? Which is definitely more than the other one. And mixture costs us 48 rupees, not 60 rupees. 60 is selling price. But here you need to consider only cost prices. Okay? And when you go for alligation, what is difference of these two numbers? 8. Which is equal to how many parts? 2 parts. If 8 is equal to 2 parts, 3 parts will be 12. And we have a condition for alligation. This number must be more than one number and less than one more number. So this number must be 48 plus 12, 60. Next, the selling price of an article is 96 rupees. The cost price is equal to profit percentage. Then the cost price of the article is, right. If you treat cost price as x rupees, profit is going to be x%, and which is equal to 96. Using this you need to calculate x value. Okay. If cost price is 60 rupees, profit will be 60%. 60% of this number 36. Satisfied. So cost price of first item is 60 rupees. Next one. The selling price of an article is 24 and the cost price is equal to the last percent. Cost price is equal to last percent. If cost price is Y in second case, loss would be Y percent. Cost price minus loss will be equal to selling price, which is 24. Let me treat this number as 40. Loss will be 40%. 40% of 40 is 16. 40 minus 16, 24. Y is equal to 40. In the sense, cost price of second item. So basically you need to solve this. You should treat this number as Y by 100. If you solve it, you will get quadratic equation. I don't want to do it. Let's go for verification. If you treat it as 30%, 30 rupees, that will be 30%. 30% of 30 is 9. 30 minus 9 is 21, which is not same. Hence go for next number, 40. 40% of 40 is 16. 40 minus 16, 24, satisfied. Like that, you need not to use pen, but still you can go for verification. Else you need to solve quadratic equation, it takes time. Now, cost price of first item is 60, second item is 40. 1 is more than 2. 68. The least angle in a pair of complementary. Next question. Supplementary. అర్థమై ఉండాలి కదా ఏమని అమ్మా నాకు రాదని ఐ డోంట్ నో దట్ ఏరియాస్ అండ్ వాల్యూమ్స్ చెప్పేవాళ్ళని అడగండి వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు 61 to 65 no any particular question